Welcome, Joe. We are happy to have you on the show today. We are excited to hear your story and your experiences. But first, I'm gonna ask you some few questions. But first, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, let me tell the story. So I started in real estate about 7 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, and then so we started out in DC, transitioned here into Tampa. That's where I am now. That's where I currently live. And then since then, about 2 years ago, we basically grew that real estate business to a great level, and it impacted my life so much that I wanted to help others get there too. So I started a coaching business. So I help real estate entrepreneurs and real estate investors primarily scale their business from doing, maybe just a one or two deals a month to really scaling it in a strategic way so that they can get to doing 5, 10, even 15 or 20 deals a month. And so I teach them structure, I teach them systems, and overall, it's been incredible. We've helped a ton of people really scale their business. And so the next step, I now have created a mastermind for those higher level people. A lot of my higher level clients are in there, the ones that came in and started crushing it. And so we have a mastermind where people are just high level exchanging high level concepts and ideas, along with really just sharing themselves, right? Sharing their journey, and at all of our meetings and events, we are sharing what's working for them and what they need help with, and so this collusion of high level collaboration has been incredible. So that's what I have now, the mastermind. That's what I'm super excited about. And yeah, so we launched it about February, about a few months ago, and it's already doing great. So that's kind of where I am, man.
That's really cool. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Wow, that's really cool to like accomplish that from only being 29. That's really cool.
Yeah, I try to. It's funny. I could maybe talk about this a little bit later, but it's easy to have a big head if you're young, but God has created so many things in my life to happen that I stayed humble, which is amazing,
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. So we're just gonna get jumping into the question. So first question, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Oh, dude, 100%. Like ever since I was young. Let's see. My first entrepreneurial venture was when I was 14. So I would go to Peru, which is where my family is from, and Lacoste polos were made there. Now, I'm pretty sure they were fake, but I didn't know that at the time. But basically, what I did is I would buy them there. They were like $7 or $8, and then I came back and flipped them for $40 a piece, and I did that like a ton of times. And so fast forward to like later in high school, I started a party throwing business where I would basically host these big, huge parties, 3, 4, 500 people. Sometimes it was even more than that. Charge them a cover price to get in, and yeah, man, I was making some decent money at a young age. And so yeah, man, I always had a great vision for myself. I always knew that I would amount to something great, and that's why I'm totally on board and in agreement with the concept that your belief is everything, and so that totally shapes the way that you think, and it will shape the way that you act and perform in the world. So.
All right. If you could go back to 16-year-old you and give him some advice, what would you give him?
Oh man, I actually recently did a piece of content on this, but it was like if I was 21. So 16. That's like right around. Shoot, I was in high school. If I could go back and talk to myself when I was 16. All right, one, I would make sure to surround myself with great people, which some people I was surrounded with were were high level people and some people weren't. But the thing is, I wasn't paying attention at the time. So what happened was I didn't utilize any potential opportunities or any potential resources that I had. I was kind of just like 16, having fun, whatever. But at the same time, it's really important to keep your youth, right? Don't get too serious because there was, and I'll get clear and vulnerable here with you, but there was definitely a point in time when I've been growing and scaling my businesses that I lost a little bit of that youthful energy, the youthful zest for life, that happiness, that excitement just for life. Because it's easy to get caught up and bogged down with the day-to-day grind, especially when you allow it to stress you, when you allow it to make you worry or anxious, or even if you're not worried or anxious, but it's just consuming all of your energy. And so, it's important to balance, right? Keep that youthful energy, that zest for life, but also be conscious of where you're going, right? Be conscious of who you're surrounding yourself with, and try to, collaborate, network at an early age, much like you're doing right now.
Yeah. So next question. So who are your top 3 mentors and why?
All right. So I'm probably going to answer this a little bit differently than maybe some of the people that you've had on here. But all right. So I'm huge in spirituality. Okay. I firmly believe that that's at the end of the day all that really truly matters. And so I have a couple spiritual mentors. Um, and first and foremost, okay, so there's this great book that I've read called Autobiography of Yogi. So he's definitely one of my mentors, this guy named Yogananda. He basically came to America and established like an organization for self-realization fellowship, which is essentially realizing your true nature, realizing who you are at the core root, which is not your human body, which is not your vessel, but and it's not your emotions, it's not your thoughts, it's that true essence of consciousness, that true pure energy that is the divine that we get from God. So he's definitely one of my mentors. As far as business goes, um, let's see. Actually, even before business, I would say one of the mentors who has definitely changed and shaped my life was a buddy of mine, Christian Ferris. And so he was actually a pastor, and I got involved with him through a Bible study. And he absolutely helped me transform my life. What was the beginning of it? I was in a toxic partnership, actually, and he really encouraged me and supported me and gave me so many platforms and tools, obviously divinely guided, to empower me to make the decision that I was having trouble making, which was leaving the partnership. And it was one of the greatest things that's ever happened. And so, he totally poured into my mind, my spirit, and he was just always there for me. So definitely that's second one. Let's see. As far as a third mentor, I would have to say Sean McCloskey. I'm sure maybe some of the listeners know who he is. And so the reason he also helped me out a ton is, well, one, the guy is just a solid, top-notch guy. You can just tell he has, your best interest at heart. And yeah, it was revolutionary what he did for me too. He introduced me on creating my personal vision for myself. And that provided me with so much clarity as far as what I actually want, right? As entrepreneurs, as business owners, when you reach a certain level, there's a point where you're you're kind of used to the mentality of the grind. You're used to the mentality of the daily grind. And so you just keep on doing it, just keep cutting, right? Like I just talked to one of the guys in my mastermind. His name is Nick Perry, but I talked to him. Uh, like we ended up giving him the advice of not going into the office because he was literally going into the office because he was so used to going into the office, and he was going there 5 days a week, and now he goes there 2 days a week, and it's changed. It's allowed him to be more creative, but we're creatures of habit. Humans are creatures of habit, and so the personal vision allows you to knock yourself out of the day to day, think big picture, and think what it is that you actually truly want. Because in the hunt for entrepreneurship, for success, for money, you can get caught up, like I said, in the daily of it and lose sight of why you're doing it. And sometimes you'll even lose sight of where you actually want to go. And so that personal vision allowed me to take a step back, really create my own life and head in that direction. So shout out to Sean McCloskey. Appreciate you, brother. And love you, man. So yeah, I would say those are the top three.
Next question. So how do you manage discouragement when things are not working out?
Oh, all right. So this is a big one, man. I'm super happy to talk about this because how I handle it now is a lot different than I've handled it in the past. See, and again, just to kind of share a little bit about what I've been experiencing recently and what's been going on in my life. I'm gonna let you guys in here, but basically, I have been going through anxiety in the past month and a half. And it wasn't until I'm going to give you the short version of this. I actually just made a post about this. So if you want more info, definitely just see my Facebook. It was an incredible experience. But basically, I was anxious. And what the anxiety made me realize was that I did not have faith. And because anxiety is triggered by fear. And when there's fear, there's no faith. And so when things aren't going as planned, when things aren't going well, we all have this obsession that we're control freaks. Like humans are control freaks. We want things to go our way, right? I mean, especially entrepreneurs. I mean, dang. I have a ton of clients. I mean, real estate's up and down all the time, right? And the clients have incredible months, and sometimes they're like, okay, what the heck is happening right now? And I got to tell them, look, you have to, it's not always going to be peachy. It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but you have to fall in love with the journey. And when you fall in love with the journey that's backed by faith, like what I realized in my anxiety is that I didn't have faith. And when I went to seek for it, boom, it was right there. I opened the Bible and there was this verse that said, "Fear not, for I am with you." And it floored me. It was just such an incredible time. And I'm not doing this story justice, for respect of our time here, but overall, that's basically what happened. And so now there's just this new level of strength and courage and faith, right? Like belief and faith is how you overcome any obstacle, how you keep your sanity, and how you keep even a positive mentality when things are going haywire or when things are not going as planned. And one thing that I always say to my clients is look, you're here right now, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. So think about the past, think about your past, and think about all the times you fretted and worried. Did it ever do you any good? And did that fretting and worrying help you to get where you are now, which is, look, you're alive, you're healthy, you're breathing. And then as soon as I tell them that, they're like, whoa, that is a massive paradigm shift, because you look back at all the times that you were stressed out and you're like, look, I'm still here right now. Right. And so, it's really just about understanding that paradigm and also having faith. Honestly, at the end of the day, having faith in a divine plan, and a divine plan for you. That's really what carries me through.
Yeah, I see a lot in like visionaries. They like to look towards like the bigger picture and like they want to get there. But like I don't know, like for me, like I'm a visionary and I want to see like where I'm gonna be heading to. Like that gives me a lot of anxiety of like I don't think I'm on the right path right now, but I just gotta like learn the journey and like fall through it and just keep going like each
Dude,
and every day.
100%. But let me tell you this, you are on the right path.
Yeah.
Okay. It might not be exactly what you're passionate about right now, whatever it is that you are talking about. But if it's leading you to that, that is the right path. You're not just going to fall into, everything is perfect. Everything is good. I love doing what I'm doing. I'm passionate 24/7. You're not just going to fall into that.
Yeah.
But it's the vision, the big picture vision that gets visionaries really amped up and excited, and it allows them to stomach or face whatever they have to face to get there, right? But being super careful to not have a get there mentality, because whenever you place your happiness in the future, it's going to stay there.
Yeah.
It stays in the future. If you've developed the mentality of, okay, what's next? All right, cool. Let's do this big picture vision, and you get so caught up in the destination that you're not enjoying the journey. Well, newsflash, there's no such thing as a destination. Like, we're literally living moment by moment. It is all a destination. I mean, I'm sorry, it is all the journey. Like, you got to fall in love with the journey. And for those, that are either getting started, that are in the middle, or have even like achieved some amazing things, that it's a freaking journey. It's always a journey. There's so few entrepreneurs who ever feel like they arrived. There's always that next thing, which can be good, but you just gotta be super mindful that it doesn't control your mentality to never being happy now. And that's something that I definitely had to learn the hard way too. And so now I wake up, I do my morning routine joyfully, peacefully. I come into presence, and I'm just treating every day like this is why I'm here. It's today.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So.
totally get you. Yeah, because we don't know when our day is gonna come, like when we're gonna die or anything like that. So we just gotta live it day by day. All right. So, what are some of your long-term goals, and what are you doing to stay successful during this changing time?
Perfect. Yeah. So, long-term vision casting is something that you should always be doing as an entrepreneur. You should always be doing that as a visionary. Your purpose and your vision are constantly changing because your mind is constantly evolving. So you'll have new inspiration. You'll open up a new part of your mind, and you'll constantly be hitting that. So I'm a full proponent of constantly vision casting. So what my long-term goals are is aside from continuing my real estate mastermind, like I really want to grow that. And so I want to have, basically, like right now it is high level wholesalers. Okay. So it's very niche. So people that are doing $500,000 in business and up. And it's also so it's super targeted. It's there's a standard to get in, a pretty high standard. And then, in addition to that, it's super intimate. So I love that. And we're going to grow that. So that's one of my long-term goals, because I absolutely love high level collaboration and masterminding. There's very few things that I love more than that. And so even Napoleon Hill said it, if for those of you that have read his book, the power of the mastermind is invaluable. It'll skyrocket you 10 times, to where you could do it on your own. So that's one of my goals. My other goal is I actually am super passionate about consciousness, about spiritual development, about total vitality and health overall. So I'm going to be starting a podcast on that for entrepreneurs. And because I recently went through anxiety, I know the things that triggered it. And I want to teach entrepreneurs how to build a life, how to build a business and a life that that fits and aligns with their core self, like that fits and aligns with their soul. And so they're not getting anxious, and so they're prosperous, so they're happy, so they're fulfilled. And I want to teach that. I want to teach people how to do that. And so I'm going to be doing that. Like, that's a long-term vision of mine as well. And so I'm heading in that direction. I'm going to start in real estate, and then I'm going to head over to the general population, the general public. And so I'm super, super pumped about that, because that's the thing that I'm most passionate about, is helping people transform from the inside out.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we're just going to get into our last and final question. It's probably the hardest question. If you could pick any superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, all right. I'll answer this from a business perspective.
Okay.
Wait, are you asking me as a business, or like?
No,
or like
any way you want to
general?
answer, it's cool. It's fine.
Or are you asking me like if I was a superhero or something?
It's up to you. Any way you want to answer is fine.
Okay. I would say, okay, I'll answer this in two parts then. So business wise, superpower is, like, I think the greatest superpower that you can have as a business owner is putting the right people in the right seats and knowing, okay, this person is perfect for this position. Boom. And then so that they are thriving at what they do best. And it's so crazy. One, people don't even know their own strengths. And two, entrepreneurs and business owners, they rarely put people in the right seats for where they're actually passionate about. And the people that do, those are the business owners that thrive and have incredibly successful companies. Overall, if I were to have a superpower, let's see. I think I would love to be able to read people's minds. I think that'd be fun. So I can kind of like mess with them, call them out on their BS. I think that'd be fun.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I don't know how other people answer that, but that's my answer.
That's good. That's good. All right. As always, today's show was super valuable. I just want to thank you, Joe, for being on and being willing to share your story and just
absolutely, man,
everything today. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Have a great day.